Okay, great. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Welcome. And if you're new to Los Angeles Mission College, welcome. And we look forward to seeing you soon on campus and even on Zoom. My name is Par Mohammadian. I am one of the life science faculty members. I teach anatomy and physiology at Los Angeles Mission College, and you will get to know more faculty members today from the sciences and the math department. The presentation will last about an hour. We will talk about 45 minutes to review all our STEM majors, and then for the last 15 minutes, we'll answer any questions that you may have. In the meantime, feel free to or type your questions in the chat, and we'll try our best to answer your questions. So this slide will give you an overview of all STEM majors admission. And we are going to go exactly in this order, and all our faculty will be presenting the programs that they oversee. We do offer an associate degree in computer programmer, full stack developer, cybersecurity. We now have also an associate degree in engineering. We have an associate degree in transfer in math. We do have 2 biology degrees. One is associate degree in transfer, and another one is an associate degree in general biology. We'll talk more about the differences later. We do offer an associate degree in biotechnology, and we now have an associate degree transfer in physics. This is UC transferable degrees, as well as associate degree transfer in chemistry, also UC transferable. And we are working also on an associate degree in geography. So the first one is the associate degree in computer sciences in general. Do we have Milan with us?
I'm right here.
Okay, my friend, take it.
So we have trying to compete and keep in touch with the new technology, which changes almost every day. Just today, I'm part of the Microsoft Azure training, and there is talk about getting Azure Track on, which is similar to the cloud computing, which we just created last year. So things in computer science change very, very quickly, and I find that we have to come up with new programs all the time. But you will see that all these programs, you do not need an associate to get internship or a job while you're pursuing your associate degree. While you're pursuing your associate degree, if you go one slide back, Par, you can get maybe the next one after here's the link on the slide, which I did not speak about, the one before this. There are links which show what jobs are already available for people who complete the associate, forget the associate, just a certificate. So you will see that some of the jobs are available by completing certificate of achievement. You don't need to pursue associate, but if you are pursuing an associate or a bachelor's, then it is nice to get an internship in the field of your interest. So we encourage students to take stackable certificates. You first get your achievement, then move on to bachelor, associate, and then bachelor's, so that you can continue working in the field that you're interested in. I think this is a very rare opportunity at this time in world history or something, where changes are happening so rapidly that and that the job market is hungry out there. It's looking for not hundreds or thousands, but literally thousands and thousands of jobs in LA County itself, if you see. And the salary is nothing to be ashamed of or shy of. It's like way above the base salary, $40 to $30 per hour for internship. So if you click on any of these links, you will be able to see what is the minimum requirement for academic requirement to get a job. And these are all numbers from many resources. Would you mind clicking on one of them, Par?
Let's see.
maybe the network and computer systems. There was some, go to the second row center, computer users support specialist.
On
So
this
those
next page,
ones,
go back to PowerPoint.
no, this one itself.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, if you click on it, it may not go to that screen to share where you're going to. So that's okay. But if you go, these are links that will take you to websites which shows what are the jobs available, what are the job titles, what is the salary, and how much education you need per each of these jobs. So that, I think it's very interesting. We can go to the next slide. Here at
You have a
Mesh,
link to this page on your website. Do you mind typing it later in the chat for the students in case they're interested?
sure, I will type in it. But
Great.
I thought the PowerPoint had all the links.
Yes,
live.
but students don't have access to the PowerPoint. So after
Oh, I
the
see.
presentation, they can click on the link.
Got it. I'll do that. And
Thank
so there are, as you see, we have associate level programs for computer programmer and cybersecurity and full stack developer, but you will see that we are creating more certificate of achievements which can lead to an associate. And one new flavor we have, which we added last year, is cloud computing. And there is also talk about adding new certificate of achievements and associate degree along with that. We just need more faculty. So that's about it from my viewpoint. This is changing. We are trying to keep up with education, which leads directly to a job. Some of our courses are just like you take one course and it prepares you for an industry certificate. That's what I've been mentioning in the first column there, that if you have just one course and you pass the corresponding industry certificate, you will be getting internship opportunity, though on the left side most. So only with one course and an industry certificate related to that, you can get a job. That's what the claims are out there right now. And so you can, but don't stop there. As an educator, I feel like you shouldn't just take one course and get a job and settle. You should complete a certificate of achievement, get an associate, get a bachelor's, and move on to a higher graduate degree too, because the more the education, the higher the pay rises correspondingly. So you do get higher pay, of course, comes with higher responsibilities. So
Thank you
there's
very
a lot
much,
of growth.
Milan. So we're hoping to see the link in the chat, so those students who are interested can go into that page that you have on your website to get more information.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
Milan. And now we
Thank
have Karina.
I was muted. Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Karina Abed. I'm the Vice Chair of Engineering and Mathematics faculty. I'm going to give you a brief overview of AS degree in engineering. However, before we do that, let's quickly get some insight about engineering. And all we have to do is just look around us. In fact, you've joined us today via Zoom, which is a web-based conferencing tool. This was founded by an engineer, Eric Yuan, who earned his bachelor's degree in pure mathematics and his master's degree in mining engineering. Let's look even further. Your smartphone, your TV, your refrigerator, AC unit, the heater, these are all made with electric parts, electric motors, fans, sensors, thermostats. And all of these require engineers with specialized expertise. Some examples of engineers that focus in these areas are mechanical engineers, heat transfer engineers rather, design engineers, drafters, and so on. And if you even look further, the building that you're in, or the commercial structures, bridges, dams, highways, airports, these are all designed and built to withstand winds, to withstand seismic forces, earthquakes that we see often here, various weights due to cars, due to airplanes, even due to furniture that you put in your living room. And the engineers that are in this area, some examples are structural engineers, transportation engineers, building inspectors, project managers, just to name a few. Also in medical field, you can see healthcare engineers who are working in a creation and development of software and hardware to improve patient care. And of course, here at Mission College, you can start your academic journey by completing some core courses that are common to all engineering tracks. So at this point, if you don't know which area of engineering you're interested, that's fine. You could still start with the core courses, which are math series, calculus courses, and physics. And then of course, I encourage you to see our STEM counselors, which you're gonna meet today, to clear your path, to make a decision. And once you have a track, you have made a decision about your engineering field, the track, you could follow the courses that are offered in each track. Those tracks are civil engineering track, electrical, mechanical, aerospace, and computer software track. And last but not least, I'm not gonna make this too long. I just wanna emphasize how important it is nowadays to have drafting skills, regardless of the engineering field that you're gonna go for. And if you are free this summer, I encourage you to check out our Introduction to 2D CAD course. I'm gonna put the title of the course in the chat room for you. That's a good course to begin with. And then of course, you can visit the engineering website to see the breakdown of the courses for AS degree in engineering, and to get up-to-date information about any engineering programs that Mission has to offer. I'm gonna put that also in the chat room. That's all I have to say. Again, welcome, and I'm gonna let you continue with the orientation. Thank you, Par.
Thanks, Karina. And AST in math, is it Bomdad or Carol?
I will do it. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for giving me a few minutes to tell you a little bit about our math program. My name is Carol Ackel. I'm one of the faculty in the math department. I personally think math is the most interesting of the programs that are presented today. Of course, I'm biased about that. We have an AST in math that we offer, and that's basically what it is. It's an associate degree for transfer, and it basically guarantees that you will get into a Cal State system in math or in a field that's close to it. Some common career paths for math majors: accountant, actuary, biostatistician. That's probably something that a lot of you should look into if you have some inclination towards the sciences and math, especially given what we're going through right now. Data scientist, that's a very popular field right now as well. Economist, financial analyst, investment banker, market research analyst. Of course, you can become a mathematician and do research, medical researcher, lots and lots of fields, software developer, statistician, or technician. A math degree will basically open up a lot of opportunities for sure in all of the STEM areas, as well as other areas for you. With a bachelor degree, a BS or a BA, you can get a decently paid job in many of those fields that I listed in the previous slide. Some careers will require a master or even a doctorate degree, like researcher or university professor. You can study pure math, which is more theoretical, or you can go into the applied field, such as operations research plan, math of computations, math applied science, math economics, lots and lots of fields, really. Just a matter of figuring out what it is that interests you and what piques your curiosity. We have a lot of great faculty and counselors on board who can help you and discuss options with you. In terms of the AST and math, the coursework that you'd be taking would be the calculus sequence, Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3. You can take either linear algebra or differential equations. You can also choose between programming in C or C++ or statistics. I also want to mention that we do have a summer bridge program that you might want to look into. We're offering, let's see, it's a college, it's a help me out, Tar. Is it a college algebra trig workshop combined, or it's just a preparation? What are we calling it?
Yes, it's the Academy, and Karen will be talking about it later too.
Perfect. That's it. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Bomdad. Do you want to add anything to, I know that Debbie and Bomdad, who are also math faculty, are here with us. Would you like to add anything?
No, I just want to welcome everybody here. We're excited to have you guys as part of our community and look forward to actually working with you guys in person pretty soon.
Debbie?
I'm going to say we have great faculty in the STEM area. You know, come and talk to us anytime, and we are willing to help you along with the counselor. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Steve with us today? He wanted, no?
Yes, I just joined. I was trying the other one.
Okay.
You changed the Zoom meeting address. Anyways, just want to say hello. I'm the chair of life sciences, and we have a lot of great programs. And I don't know if now is the time to talk about them, but my door is open anytime. We have great faculty. They're eager to help, and plenty of career opportunities in the life sciences for sure.
Also, if I may add, as a life science faculty, we do have, as I mentioned in the beginning, we do have an associate degree for transfer. So once you complete that, you are eligible to apply to all CSUs, and one of the CSUs obviously have to accept you, and it is the pathway for you, so you would know which classes you need to take to transfer to the CSUs. We also offer an associate degree in general biology. So again, it doesn't mean that with the associate degree in general biology you cannot apply to transfer, but the course requirements are different. So since different universities have different requirements, we have also different course requirements for these two degrees. And the main difference is the math requirement. The ASD requires the calculus class, whereas the AS in general biology, at this point, it doesn't require any math classes, but we are adding a statistic or college algebra. It hasn't gone through the approval process yet. But a lot of students, when they hear biology, they think about, oh, are you going to apply to pre-med? So biology is not only pre-med. Obviously, if you're going to study medicine later, pharmacy, dentistry, it's a good choice to apply for a biology degree. However, if you're also interested in doing research, this is an excellent opportunity. If you want to be an ecologist, a botanist, forensic scientist, there are so many job opportunities right now, especially now. I'm sure Dr. Aurora will talk more about it when she will talk about biotechnology. There's so many job opportunities out there right now in the labs because of COVID-19. A lot of labs are obviously working on viruses, on vaccines, and there are a lot of research labs that are focused on this particular issue. So the job opportunities are out there, and you can, even with an associate degree, with a technician, as a technician, you can start working in those areas. Like Milan said, as an educator, we don't want you to stop at an associate degree. We want you to continue and earn your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, and even a PhD. So if you were to combine the biology, there's always an opportunity to go into biochem and work as a biochemist. Or like Karina was saying, if you're interested in biology and engineering, you can go into biomedical device manufacturing, like those manufacturing companies that make pacemakers, for your heart. You could also combine biology and geology and work as an environmental consultant, biology and medicine. So the opportunities are out there. So you're not only limited to pre-med, but also there are other job opportunities for you. If you want to know more about the two programs, please log into our website, lmission.edu/life sciences. And you can always contact either Steve or any of us in the life sciences department, and we would be happy to assist you.
Absolutely.
Par, you might want to brag about your lab, your beautiful facilities.
Oh yes, let me brag about our facilities. So we moved into the Center for Science, for Math and Science about 7 years ago, and we have a state-of-the-art lab with equipment and supplies that we just purchased. So obviously, Steve, do you want to add something?
Pretty much, I think we kind of won the lottery when it comes to new district science buildings. So for those students who have yet to see it, it's really a great facility. And so yeah, we're very happy to be where we are, for sure.
And we also have a grant that supports the biology majors now, and also biotech majors. So again, Karen will talk about that grant, and now Dr. Arora will talk about the biotechnology program. Go ahead, Dr.
Everybody, I hope you heard enough to be attracted to biology, but I still feel biotechnology would entice you even more, because it is a stackable credentials program. What that means is, in one semester, you do 2 courses of biotechnology and a course of chemistry, you are eligible to get lab tech certificate. And this program has been designed really for people who want a career in biotechnology. The best part is you're eligible to apply for job or internship after 1 semester of courses, and most of the biotech companies are willing to interview you. And we have embedded the soft skills in there, so you are really ready for internship or you have the job skills. And most of the companies that we are working with, they pay for the tuition up to $5,000 every year. And as an educator, again, you've heard this before, I would really encourage you to go for the next certificate, which is research lab tech. And then you have more options just with adding 2 more courses. And you can further down your education for the AS degree in biotechnology. And the possibilities are endless. You can go on with your education. At the same time, you can have a job in biotechnology. So hope to see you all there and explore it. Like you heard from our chair and vice chair, that we have state-of-the-art facility and labs that you really would fall in love with. Thank you. So these are what we have for, check the website for biotechnology, and it complements almost anything you can think of environmental sciences. It complements with biological sciences, with chemistry, with genetics, and you can have a double AS degree in biology and biotechnology just by adding few more courses. So you can have a double degree there. So thank you and hope to see you all. And it's an open door policy. Feel free to reach out to any of us. You have any question or you need any help.
Thank you, Dr. Arora. And let me also mention that we do also have a National Science Foundation grant to support our biotechnology students. We take them on a field trip to different pharmaceutical companies. We bring in speakers, alumni to talk to the students, to learn more about the job opportunities and also the profession. We also support the students in the summer to complete an externship program. Again, lots of great opportunities for those students who want to enter the industry within a semester. And again, since these programs are stackable, you have the opportunity to keep taking classes and advancing. Okay, so we're going to move on to the AS transferable in physics. Dr. Fenton, Mike?
Hey everybody, so my name is Mike Fenton. I'm in the physical science department, and it's a pretty diverse department. So I'm going to be talking about a few different areas. As you've seen, all of the STEM areas are integrated in some way or another. For biology, you need some chemistry. For chemistry, you need some math. From math, you also need that for physics, which is what we're addressing first. So in the physical sciences, you have physics and astronomy, sort of one isolated area. You also have chemistry, and then in addition, you have the geosciences. And out of the geosciences, I think I'll discuss a little bit about the geography, which is our biggest area within that area. So starting with physics here, this is not necessarily your traditional AST in physics. This is actually, so physics and chemistry are two areas where you need a lot of units. And because of needing so many units, it's very difficult to put together what they call the traditional transfer degrees, the AS degrees. So the UCs got together, and some of the faculty in these different areas put together their own degree, and it's called the UC AS transfer degree, and that's what we have now for physics and chemistry. I think we're one of the first campuses in the state, along with maybe a couple more, that because it's brand new, that we're able to apply for it in California and get it. And so that we just got it recently, and what it allows students to do is get the degree in physics, and then it automatically gives students a pass into one of the UC schools. Not designated necessarily which one, but you'll definitely get into one. So I think you need a 3.5 GPA with the degree, and you're guaranteed to get into a UC. So this is called the UC AST degree, which is different than the traditional transfer degrees. And I think this is the same, so I don't have to repeat this for chemistry. So in physics, you know, the two degrees actually talking about physics and chemistry are very similar. I think you don't need the organic chemistry for the physics, and you need an additional math. I think it's 270 for, I think that's linear algebra or something like that from the math department. And that gets you the degree along with the physics courses, 37, 38, 39, chemistry 101 and 102, and then whatever other things you need for the UC transfer, I think off the IGATSE. Now, as a physics, and you could also, I'm going to clump in, even though there's not an astronomy degree yet, we're working on that, physics or astronomy areas. You can go a lot of different career paths. Most physics associate degrees as well as chemistry associate degrees go on for bachelor degrees. So that would be the focal point, is transfer. And then a lot go beyond the bachelor degree into masters or PhDs. And if you go into a higher level of education beyond this degree, which this sets you up for that, of course, it's a stepping stone. There are quite a few physics majors that you can get involved in and make a decision a little bit later on how you want to specify or utilize that degree. But you have quite a few things here. Lab technician, I think I saw biology technician on the bio part as well. What that really means is just a physicist, somebody who works in a laboratory as, you know, a physicist, a biologist. I think we'll put on the chemistry. There's also lab technician. That really means a chemist, just to put that in perspective. Usually physics, biology related fields or life sciences, and chemistry generally they work in research. That would be the traditional path. However, there are a lot of non-traditional paths that are also interesting, exciting, and good career paths. So, you know, engineering was already discussed, but you can use a physics degree to go into one of the engineering pathways. Some of them that would focus on more physics related, laser, optical, aerospace, automotive, electrical, among others here. So not all engineers cross over necessarily with physics, even though you could take additional classes if you decided to change. Things like civil engineer, structural engineer, you don't really see that on here. That's usually not a physics-oriented pathway towards engineering, but you could always do, like I said, in STEM areas when I started, there's a lot of crossover. So you could find your way through that if you ever decided to make a change as you went through. Some other things for physics, things like software developer, systems analysis, and here you see web developer. Once again, that crosses over a little bit more with computer science. So there's, once again, a lot of crossover in these areas. And then, of course, it looks down here, which I can't see on my screen. I think it says teacher, which also could be translated to professor, depending on the level of degree that you get. Presumably, the highest level degree you get, that's most likely where you'd want to teach, because that's where you're going to be most interested in. So moving on into the next screen here. So bachelor degrees in physics, like I already mentioned, you can pursue a higher degree such as a master's or a PhD. And I think even now there's, I think there's a field related like bioengineering, which is becoming more popular, which is really just looking at biology from an engineering perspective. You could also put physics on top of that so that you have another layer of different things that you're focused on. It's just a way to specify what you're doing in a particular field. So those are the different things you could do in physics. It's a little bit of a long pathway, definitely rewarding if you get to where you want to go and it is your interest. And that the main thing now is that you can now get a UC transfer degree in physics. So that's one of our areas. Now I'm going to that leads into the second area in the physical sciences. We have chemistry. Once again, that AST is not the traditional transfer. That's the same thing as the physics. It's a UC AST degree. And here, once again, laboratory technician, that really just means chemist. Basic researcher here in academia industry. This also implies if you're a researcher in academia, you're also a professor, which is generally called a principal investigator, where you do a little bit of teaching, and then you also get to do some research by writing grants and things of that nature. So that's here a science professor. That depends on the level you're talking about. At a higher level, you could either work in the community college level, the Cal State level, or the UC level, or private schools, which if it's a research institute, that would match more similarly to a UC type of faculty. In chemistry, there are a couple different areas. You have physical chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, biochemistry, basic chemistry. So I came through the biochem path, which is really just another way to say, let's look at biology from a chemistry perspective. It's essentially identical to molecular biology, which I don't know if that was discussed in the life sciences, but ultimately you're just looking at this at similar phenomenon naturally and things that are live. So you can look at something from a biological perspective or a chemical perspective, and then you get two different ways to evaluate, let's say, how viruses work or whatever. And that's usually will lead you to a faster diagnosis of what it is you're trying to solve, whether it's a pathway or trying to figure out a vaccine. And that allows for a faster type of research and therefore conclusion. Ideally, we get something like that now with our current status with COVID-19. Okay, so so those are the chemistry areas. You can couple these. This is looking a little bit more maybe advanced than needed, but you can couple these things. Generally, you get at least a bachelor's in chemistry. You can go on and get a master's. That usually serves more as a lab technician level. You can get a PhD and then potentially do postdoctoral training, which then sets you up to become a faculty or a professor at a research institute, or go into industry and do research. You can couple these things. So you could do chemistry plus business. So you get a PhD, let's say, or master's in chemistry and an MBA, a business degree. You start up a takeover a biotech company. You could couple it to poli-sci. So let's say you do a minor in poli-sci or a second major, or maybe even get a master's in that, and you could do policy making, political risk analysis. You could couple that to a law degree, a JD degree, and become a patent lawyer. Or there are a lot of MD PhDs, which are usually fused programs, and you could end up doing more clinical research as opposed to basic research in both academia and industry, just to name a few. Okay, so then now we're moving to the last area that I'll talk about, at least for the physical sciences, which is the geosciences. And our biggest program within that is geography. We're currently in the process of hiring a full-time tenured track faculty to promote and to facilitate the movement of this program. In here, currently we don't have a degree, but it's likely once the full-time faculty comes in, we'll have that person put together an AA or an AS transfer degree, more traditional one, not like the UCs that we just talked about. I think we've already defined what classes we need to include in the program in order to have that. So we're expecting to potentially have that by next year. AS, most likely an AS, but it could be an AA transfer degree in geography. So here's some of the common majors, things like environmentalist, you have a GIS analyst, you have a variety of different things that are not on here. I'm assuming you're going to get this, so there's no reason to go through each one, or at least have access to this. But there are other things. You could become let's say, a weather news anchor, for example, among other things with geography. There are quite a few things you can do. And other areas in the geosciences would be things like geology, earth science, environmental science, and a few of those kinds of things. Oceanography would be another. So you could do things obviously with a bachelor degree. You could also, once again, in all the sciences, pretty much move on to get a master's or PhD degree, depending on what your objectives are or how you want to fuse degrees potentially, depending on your interest. But if you were to fuse them, here are a couple of ways to fuse geography with biology, for example, since that was talked about earlier, as an ecologist, conservationist, or park ranger. Let's see, you have communications here for, you can get involved in local government, private industry, and things that are really important. So when you think about geography, especially in the climate today with climate change and things like that, you know, you could put together programs to maybe evaluate the movement of fires, as we've all experienced here in the valley, right, over the past couple of years, and try to track that or figure out where areas would be hotspots for that, to try to, you know, mitigate that prior to it occurring, as well as earthquakes and things of that nature, other natural catastrophes. You could use these kinds of degrees and start developing programs in collaboration with, let's say, computer science and stuff like that, to figure out ways to get ahead of the curve for natural disasters, especially with climate change playing a larger role in how we live our lives today. And I think, so that's a quick conclusion to the physical sciences. Now I'm going to switch hats into the honors program, which isn't exclusive to STEM areas, but this is for all students throughout the campus. But obviously I'm focused on STEM majors today, so I'll talk about the honors program in that context. And the honors program is a selected academic program that's used by students here at LAMC and other community colleges in order to get into places like UCLA. It gives you a priority for getting in, and that's a priority admission, which is a pretty big deal. To put that in context, on average, if you're coming out of a community college campus and going into, and this is primarily focused on UCLA, but it applies to a lot of schools, but UCLA is one of the schools that actually gives that priority admission openly. A lot of schools will give it, but they don't want to actually say it, so they're not fully committed. So UCLA, if you're a California community college transfer student and you're trying to transfer into UCLA, about, on average over the past 10 years, about 25% of students get in all areas, STEM and others. If you're coming out of an honors program, which is also called TAP, the Transfer Alliance Program, from one of these California community colleges, and you apply to UCLA, the average over the past 10 years is about 75% acceptance. Okay, so you could see that big switch between those two. Depending on which school you come out of, each school has its own honors program. Ours here at Mission, over the past 3 years, I think we've had 12 people become certified, which means that they get that priority admission into UCLA, and 11 of those 12 got in. So that's a pretty high rate. That's a lot higher than the 75%. So taking advantage of programs like this, if you want to go to schools like a UCLA, a lot of those students got into Berkeley as well, by the way, even though they weren't, they didn't say that they would get that priority admission. They didn't want to openly say it, but clearly that played a role in them getting in. So if you want to get into a more competitive university and you've done a good job, you think you need a 3.25 or better, and then you need to complete 15 units of honors program work, which is basically whatever class you take that's UC transferable, and you do a side project After you apply to the program, you would understand what that what I mean by those side projects. If you get accepted, then you complete 15 units. So that could be 3 5-unit classes, 5 3-unit classes, or some combination thereof. Then you get that priority admission into UCLA, UC Irvine, higher probability of getting in, even if it's not considered priority, to many other top schools, as well as to a crossover to program. So there are other incentives, such as if I want to go to, say, UC Irvine, I may get in there, and maybe I want to go into their honors program, then I have a higher chance of getting in if I came through an honors program at, say, a community college like LAMC. So hopefully that answers any questions. I'm always available. You can look on the LA Mission website through Physical Sciences if you want to contact me about that, or through the honors program if you want to contact me about anything in the honors. Okay. With that being said, good luck to everybody here, and study hard and get to where you want to go.
Thanks, Mike. And now we're going to have Angela Pan, who is our STEM counselor, to talk about how to best prepare for the STEM majors.
Hi, everyone. My name's Angela. I think I've met some of you in some previous workshops that we've had in the last couple of weeks, or maybe in an appointment. We're really glad that you've joined us today. A lot of your professors have mentioned that counseling is really important, so you want to make sure that you leverage your resources on campus and talk to some of the counselors, including myself, to see what's available for you. So one of the things that we'd like to highlight to be a successful STEM student is that you're not alone, and most of you will have careers or jobs that don't operate on your own, and so your school experience shouldn't be the same. It should be a collaborative group effort, and there are a ton of people who are here to support you throughout your time at LA Mission College. Just take a look at all of your professors who just spoke to you about some of their programs. They're really excited that you're here with us and that you're joining us this coming fall. So we have a lot of things to offer for you. One of the things that you want to do is to get familiar with campus resources. Whether it's online or when we go back onto campus one day, there are resources available to you. One of the main things that you want to do to get connected to those campus resources is, one, your Canvas portal, as well as your student emails to stay connected. Through these avenues, and this is all through your student portal, you can start looking at it. We have our Learning Resource Center, which includes tutoring for math, English, and science. Some of your courses that you'll be taking in the math and sciences have embedded tutors, which means these are tutors that have taken the course before and are familiar. So if you're having issues or you're having trouble, maybe the pace is a little bit too fast, these are peers, also students who have taken the course and can help you get through your classes. The other things, in addition to your classes, are starting to look forward to what it is that you want to accomplish at Mission College and beyond, especially for your future career and transfer. Mission College has a career center that's available to you. They usually offer a major fair for those of you who are not quite sure what kind of career you want to go into or major, as well as a job fair for those of you who are looking for a job in the future, whether while you're in school or after. We have resources for that. The Transfer Center is also a great opportunity for you to learn about different universities. So I know a lot of you had questions in the chat about where should I transfer to for a math major and engineering major. These are all really great questions, and the Transfer Center has a ton of resources available for you too. Occasionally we'll have some transfer representatives from each of the schools in our area to talk to students. You can actually make an appointment with them and talk to them about some of their programs. We also have a transfer fair, and CSUN is one of our largest feeder schools. So it's just next door to us. And so they also have a CSUN day in the springtime. Like Par said, my name's Angela Pan. I'm your STEM counselor, so you'll probably be meeting with me. I usually recommend meeting with me at least once a semester, just to check in to see how you're doing. If there's anything that you need, again, accessing those resources is really important, and I can help you with that. So a lot of what you heard today has to do with math. And math is, for some people it's really easy, and for other people have struggled, but that doesn't mean you can't be a STEM major. So one of the things that you want to start thinking about is how you're going to get through your math. A lot of your classes no matter what major you are, it's all connected to math. Whether you're in chemistry, biology, and physics, all of that has a foundation in math. And so it's really important that you understand your math pathway so that you can get ahead and you don't save all of the math until the end. You slowly want to be working towards it. For the majority of our students graduating from high school, you can either start at Math 125 or 134 if you need a solid foundation in algebra. But for those of you who are a little bit more advanced and more math inclined, maybe had pre-calculus in high school or even calculus, you can start at 240 and Math 260, that's trigonometry, and then go into pre-calculus, or you can take college algebra and then go into trigonometry. Either way, you will be able to get into Math 265, which is our current calculus class, Calculus 1, and then Math 266 is our Calculus 2, and then after Calculus 2, you are able to take Calc 3, differential equations, and linear algebra. So as a STEM major, you may not need to take all of these courses, but if you are an engineering major, for example, you would have to take the majority of these courses. If you are planning to go to CSUN as a biology major, you only need trigonometry and pre-calculus. So this is why it's really important for you to understand where you want to transfer to and what your major is, so we can kind of create your plan and really tailor it to what it is that you want to accomplish. The requirements for UCs and Cal States are very different, so we want to sit down together in an appointment and create that plan for you. So this is where in those appointments, and we'll put a link to our STEM website on where you can make an appointment with me. In a 1-hour appointment, usually in your first semester, we'll go over the major requirements and your general education to build a plan so you know exactly what you're taking every semester. And you can teach yourself how to choose your classes every semester. That way, you don't spend too much time here. And as a STEM major, you're already going to be taking a lot of units, as you've seen. So we want to make sure that you know where you're going and that you don't take extra classes you don't need. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share our link in the chat room so that you can access that. The other thing that you can do is to look for ways to get involved. Through the STEM website, you can sign up for our emails. We send out a weekly newsletter where you can see all of our volunteer opportunities that we get from the community, internship or summer research announcements. Typically every summer we are able to send anywhere between 3 to 5 students to work in a lab, whether at UCLA, USC. We've had students at CSUN to do lab work in some of their bio labs. So that's one of the things you can look forward to from the STEM office. We also have clubs and organizations. We have a nutrition club. We have a STEM and health club. We have a Robotechas club. So if there's something that you're interested in, these are some ways to meet people, but then also be around people who have similar goals as you are. And then Dr. Mike Fenton also talked about the honors program. If you're interested in that, that's also a great way to get involved and increase your chances of getting into one of those highly selective schools. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat, and then you can sign up for the emails there, and then you can also sign up to make an appointment with me if you want to create your student educational plan. We look forward to having you, and I can't wait to meet all of you when we get back to campus.
Thanks, Angela. And now we have Karen, who will be talking about the BioScholars program and the summer opportunities for new students.
Hi, welcome everybody. As Dr. Parr mentioned earlier, we are going to be providing a Summer Bridge Math Academy this summer. Our main focus will be trigonometry and college algebra. So if you feel that you need assistance to prepare you, basically what it is, it's similar to a preparation course. No grade will be required for these 5 weeks. It's basically just getting you to prepare for your fall course. So we'll be meeting twice a week for 5 weeks for about an hour to 2 hours and a half. So for those who are interested to get ahead, you know, during the summer, since our courses will be online, this will be provided for you online as well. So if you don't have anything going on in the summer, or you don't plan to take any additional classes during the summer, I encourage you to take advantage of this Math Academy. just because it will prepare you for your fall courses. So that way, once you enter your courses in the fall, you'll feel well prepared. And this program is provided by the BioScholars program here on campus. So it is a federally funded program. You don't pay for any of these services. These services are free. All you have to do is apply. We do have an additional incentive since we are a biology program. We have an additional incentive for those students who are biology. So if you complete the 5 weeks, you do get an additional $200 gift card added to your financial aid account. We are opening this to everybody in STEM. So if you are in STEM, you will still receive a certificate of completion. We'll also have a certificate of perfect attendance if you would like to join us. So I'll go ahead and provide the flyer for you guys in the chat if you would like to download it and look a little bit more into it. If you guys are an LA Promise student who will be starting in the fall, I do encourage you to also participate in our Math Academy because you do get credit for your summer activity. A lot of you have been going to the summer senior days, so you probably already heard about this. But again, this is another option for you to complete your summer requirements while still getting, the required assistance to make sure you succeed in the fall. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send us an email. The email is provided for you here. It's biology@lamission.edu. Send us your questions and we'll respond to you as soon as possible.
Thank you, Karen. In addition to the Summer Math Academy, we do also offer math workshops during the semester. Those are mostly open to the biology majors. However, we do also encourage other STEM majors to attend those workshops. Again, our goal is really to make sure that you succeed in your math classes because as Carol said, math is the basis of all our science majors. So you need to have to know your math to be able to complete the programs. At this point, I would like to ask Karen to stop the recording so we can start with the questions. Thanks, everyone.